Hello, everyone. Today we have Pebbles, a very, very cute dog. And let's begin with the email that I got from her mom. Here is my current little girl, Pebbles. She is 2 now. She was the unwanted puppy in her litter and arrived to me at 4 months old, very timid and shy to both animals and humans. She's opened up a lot now and is very loving and confident. She's closely bonded with me and loves to be outside on hikes, playing ball, and the beach. We've just signed up for an agility training to make use of her mind and burn some of her energy. She's cuddly and brings joy to people as she walks down the street. She has a way of bouncing along that many people comment on. I could see that even though in the picture she's lying on her back. I could feel the energy of her walk. Okay, I'm just going to double check and tune into Pebble's higher self. If I could connect with her and her conscious self, if she is wanting to communicate with me also. And I'm getting a yes from both. So I usually like to double check. And I usually do my first check in with the creatures before I pull out the cards, and the cards have come out. And I'm getting guided by the spirit world to dive in. Beginning first, as always, speaking about the energy that's coming in. We just had the solar eclipse, which signifies new beginnings that are coming in, and what other things that are coming forward for this person and their pet. Interesting. I know these two cards also came out in two other readings. So if you resonate with this reading, look at the other pet readings that have the same cards as you do, because there's a little bit more details, another layer to add to what your pet has offered. Oftentimes with these group pet readings, the pets do like to band together as a team and create all these various layers of guidances just to help all of us out. So make sure you do listen to the others if you feel called to do so. Pebbles. Pebbles' higher self is coming in. And that's the wise part of them. And I actually prefer to channel through that wiser aspect of the creature. And I could also feel the mom's spirit guide stepping in. So there's a little bit of those two energies coming through in the first few cards here. Meditate and contemplate. Pebble says, keep reading the cards, Mari. Believe in the impossible, and nothing will come of this situation. Meditate and contemplate. What do you want to speak about that? Now, would that be Pebble's higher self or the spirit guide? I'm hearing both again. Meditate and contemplate. It's a time to take a pause right now. Don't try to push anything forward, hence the other card, nothing will come of this situation. And if you or anyone else listening to this, if you tend to have a lot of projects just sitting around, not just physical project, but possibly digital projects, maybe you did a brain dump for a story or maybe a blog post and it's just sitting there in its digital format. However, those projects are just lingering and quote unquote collecting dust. Just let them be there. Sometimes those projects that are halfway done or a brain dump is meant to be just that, in that state. It was just to release the energy that was needing to be released. By no means, says your spirit guide and also Pebbles, by no means, it's not that they're saying delete it. It's just to keep it there as a way to reflect back on your process. How much have you evolved? And reflect on that. Do you need to switch up the way you approach, the way you channel creativity, or you approach segregating some time for yourself just to allow that time to write or journal out your thoughts. Look at the process. There needs to be a change in the way you schedule things, and then that method might work for a while, and then it's going to switch up because your energy has shifted and you need to accommodate that evolving creative energy within you with a different kind of a schedule. Or it could be all of a sudden spontaneous, where you just need to cancel an obligation or back out of an event to fully focus on channeling that energy that it's needing to come through you. And you'll know when to cancel a promise or an event that you had said yes to, and really focus on channeling this creative energy that's wanting to come through. They keep saying creative energy. So for now, don't try to push anything. There could be bits and bobs of things that come through, and just let them linger around for a bit and see what comes of it, but don't force it. You also need to step back from anything that you've been working on and just take a break from it. That's what I'm hearing the spirit world say. Meditate and contemplate not just applies to your creative projects or processes. It also applies to your connection with spirit. Just spending some time with them to receive what you need. It could be a really short meditation that you do with them where you sit quietly and for 8 minutes just allow yourself to be swept into some sort of a spiritual journey and receive anything that they offer to you, and allow that energy to just sit and brew. That's what I'm hearing. Don't, again, try to make something out of it and thus force something, force some kind of an understanding or wisdom, because the spirit world knows we all want to make sense of something, connect the dots, and literally doggy bag. No pun intended, says Pebbles. But when we go to an event or we hear an amazing spiritual podcast, we want a doggy bag, right? We want to take those couple of sentences that resonated with us. So, however you want to receive those gems and how you want to plant those gems into your unconscious and conscious parts of yourselves, or even into your soul, and allow those gems to be like seeds and bloom. And trust it. Just allow those seeds to bloom according to the seasons. Interesting. What I just saw was even those within that 8 minutes of meditation, the energy is going to drop into you like seeds, and it would present itself to you, the wisdom or knowledge you need, or the aha moment you need, so you could continue moving forward throughout the various seasons this year and up until 2026, because I'm seeing the calendar year 2026 and then February 2026. Okay, so why are you showing me February 2026? Because that's when what it feels like the understanding and the connecting of the dots of your experience will happen. That's what both your spirit guide and Pebbles are saying. With believe in the impossible, that just applies to the seeds, the energetic seeds that are being downloaded or offered to you. And again, it's up to you if you want to receive it or not. Know that nothing is ever forced upon you by the spirit world, because they do need our permission, as you know. So whatever you receive, and it sounds like an impossible idea, believe that it is possible. So instead of believe in the impossible, they want you to start saying to yourself, believe in the possible. That is possible. I don't know how. Spirit, show me. What are the signs? What are the feelings that you want to bring up within me? Or what do you want to show me in my journey? I do feel that the spirit world may want to make you work a little harder. Oh, great, right? Which means spirit may give you, and this applies to quite a lot of us in the community, so listen in. Spirit is going to make us work harder by giving us almost very vague, like symbols or very strange journeys, very mystical journeys where it's hard for the mind to understand, but you can feel in your heart that there's something really, really, really deep there. And that's going to start for a lot of us. So, with that depth, that very deep feeling you have of, whoa, there's something here, I'm just going to let it expand within me slowly, revealing a layer at a time. And be patient, says Spirit, and just allow that energy to expand and grow. It will take some time, says Spirit. So, again, be aware of the mind wanting to make some sort of an understanding of it too quickly, they're saying. And this just again applies to everyone, Spirit is saying. Okay, meditate and contemplate, believe in the impossible, and nothing will come of this situation. Is there anything else, Pebbles, you want to say? Yes, she is saying, going back to believe in the impossible. I'm just tuning into the card and into Pebbles' energy here. Okay, thank you. Believing in the impossible, and this had come up for someone previously in the community also. Go back to your manifestations, because there was a part of you that felt it's not possible. And when we manifest from a place of hope, it means I'm not 1000% sure it will happen. There's a big part of me that doubts it too. And so go back and look at where you may have manifested from a place of a bit of a hesitancy. I'm not really sure. And Spirit wants you to go back, and they could actually take you to that manifestation, and you are welcome to make changes to it from a more of a confident perspective. So up to you how you would like to do that. I know the mom, Pebbles' mom, is quite connected to Spirit, and Spirit is saying they'll show you. Of course, they'll show you also with very vague signs and messages. Really wanting to make all of us work hard, my goodness. Well, let's hope the next set of cards and the other cards will give more details. And usually these cards do, because they speak about anything within your DNA or in your past lives that are needing to be closed. And let's see how Pebbles want to assist with helping her mom and going through these things. Don't dim to fit in. Already I heard past life trauma. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? Some of the blocks, and oftentimes forcing something to happen or forcing something to completion is a block, because we feel this pressure to really close it, right? And that I am seeing it comes from a past life where that soul missed out on an opportunity, like it missed out on a deadline, or it missed out on submitting or being part of an audition, I'm hearing, that could have really catapulted that past life self to this creative artist that they were meant to be in that lifetime. And because they have that guilt of missing out in this lifetime, they really want to force things to happen or really want to see things through to completion. So this over dedication, laughs Spirit. And too many projects perhaps that are still lingering. And that's where Spirit wants to then again guide Pebbles' mom into a meditation of, okay, we need to release that from your soul contract. And do you feel like doing it today or on another day? And we'll take you down that road, says Spirit. So in that past life, make sure you work through where you may have dimmed yourself to fit in, and how the extreme opposite is now coming forward, where it's really trying to connect with this inner creative energy or anything else, perhaps, where you're really trying to step up and be who you really are. And that's what you're meant to be. But that past life fear of missing out and dimming to fit in is creating that block within you of being overly inspired. That's one thing I'm hearing. It could be a good thing, but it could be overwhelming because I know I have that too. Being overly inspired and having too many projects. So look into the roots of that. We will want to take you through a past life exploration, they're saying. And sometimes you just need to take a break, take that step back, right? Remember that first message from the moon cards, a life's work, not a session or not a season. Get off the treadmill. So sometimes we just need to get off that speedy highway and try a different pace. And this is where Spirit is saying they want to just allow Pebbles to come in here. Oh, okay, thank you, Pebbles. She's asking me to go back to the email, and it has something to do with the agility training. Okay. So Pebbles is saying the agility training would also help her human. And Pebbles is also saying this, when we're stuck, we sometimes just need to just change up our energy and do something else, take up something different temporarily, and then go back to our previous projects or whatever we were doing. We all need a coffee break, right? And sometimes we need to do something else to refresh our mind, and then we might become inspired through that other activity and find solutions or finally see how to close a project that's on our plate. Align your life. What is not aligned or needs to change? And Spirit here is saying it goes back again to that past life that's continuing to interrupt and misalign your life. Really explore that particular past life where it was a performance artist and purposely self-sabotaged and missed out on those auditions and are highly regretting that they did that multiple times to themselves. There's also another artist that you were in a past life where you wanted to be in your own world. Spirit is saying that's fine. However, it was very isolating for you at the time, and in this lifetime you want to very much be in a group where they could review your work or get some sort of a mentor or a teacher to look at how you are developing as an artist. So there are these very polarizing energies, aren't there? Things that we regret that we did in our past life, and then we're going to the extreme opposite and trying to make up for that lost time, so to speak. But I'm hearing the creator say you are on the right path. Right now, you're just needing to meditate, contemplate, reflect, reassess your processes, and even your resources. Maybe you might need to use a different writing tool, and your spirit guide is joking and bringing out a rock and a hammer. Maybe you need to write on the sand as you take walks with Pebbles on the beach. Who knows? You never know, right? Do something different and it could really change up the energy. In the next set of cards, Pebbles here chose actually all the cards. And by the way, your pets always choose the tarot decks that they want to work with. And Pebbles chose the Sacred Destiny one, which speaks about what you're learning and how she wants to assist in you learning that. So this is very much in Pebbles' soul contract. So she wants me to just read it out. Change, success, and going forward. The going forward card buzzed really powerfully in my hand, and Pebbles saying, please speak about this first. Going forward, know that you are making a long inner journey. When the going forward card comes out, it's always a positive sign. the picture on this card, it's this wonderful clear road heading over to the horizon towards the sun. So there is a light at the end. Please rest assured, right now we're just stopping, taking a bit of a break. And that's all part of the road to your success. So that's the card with the Black Panther on here. If you feel a connection to the Black Panther spirit animal, do some research on that, because I do feel that the Black Panther animal in particular is wanting to talk about navigating through the darkness, the unknown of not knowing, right? Like, where is this going? But intuitively, I'm just going to follow this path, whatever the path may be. And just trusting your intuition is going to lead you to success. But first, there's some changes that need to occur. So let's speak about the change card now. And I'm allowing Pebbles' higher self to just tell me a little bit more. Okay, thank you. Okay, she's telling me to go back to the email. Agility training. And that's the only word that I could see on the piece of paper that I printed this email out. She keeps talking about the agility training and how that would shift, or how that would allow her human mom to see how Pebbles' mind really works. And by seeing how Pebble works, she's going to get this major insight of, oh, what if I shift my thinking in that way? Or what if I train myself in this sort of a way? Curious now. How would that work? Spirit, show me. And this is why Pebbles had come into your life. Part of it was, of course, doing this agility training together, which will be very, very fun, says Pebbles, but also allow the mom to see things from a different perspective, how to think differently, and therefore how different minds work, in particular humans versus creature, and see how it could be trained and go, okay, how can I use those methods on myself so that I could train to be focused, or train to know where to direct my energy into, or also how to train myself to be disciplined and such. So this is where there's a change that's going to occur at the cognitive level. And to really allow that aha moment at the mental level to really manifest in the physical realm in your life, allow Spirit to tell you, okay, great, now you know this, we suggest doing this. And explore, be curious, have fun with it, and find your own way with it. And that's going to lead you to success, and you will continue going forward along your path. Pebbles is asking me to continue going on to the next set of cards. And these are the frequency that both her and the mom are elevating into. But first, they need to both go through change their definition of success and what that feels like, or how that evolves along the path as they go forward together. So when you both feel like you've got a good grip on those, you are now elevating into this energy, which is the Alchemist, the Democrat. Oh, and another Alchemist card. 2 Alchemist cards have come out. And I did check the deck once, and yes, the Alchemist is the only card that is repeated twice. When cards even come out twice in a reading, it's a very, very good sign. It means that there is a balance that's happening within yourself. So the divine masculine and the divine feminine. The divine masculine aspect, and this is Pebbles' higher self speaking now. The divine masculine aspect is all about the process, right? And analyzing, assessing what works, what doesn't work. Okay, restructure things. And is there a new system or a process that I can work with? And within those protected divine masculine structures or process or systems, the divine feminine can now relax into it and go, okay, I feel protected and I feel like I could just relax into this. what do I want to do now within this flow? And sometimes the divine feminine flow of creativity will let the divine masculine energy in you know that some process isn't working. So, for example, if you set aside 2 hours in the morning to journal or do something, but your creativity is just not there, or you're just not into it in that moment, that's the divine feminine saying, let's just do something a little different here. Let's change things up a bit. Let's instead write at night, but for now, in the morning or afternoon, go out for a walk on the beach or try a different recipe just to build up creative energy through a different channel, which is cooking, or it could be something else, perhaps dancing, however that manifests for you. So there's that balance of that masculine and feminine that are starting to come in. And that's when a lot of the magic could happen. That's where the alchemist energy comes in for you. And you'll find that you may be completing projects a little faster and moving on to the next ones, perhaps, or getting more new inspirations. Of course, whenever I get more inspirations from the universe, I'm like, great, I had to figure out a way to make time to channel them. I think it's great to be, or great to have an abundance of ideas. So the alchemist, did I channel the energy in that? Yes, I'm hearing. So the Democrat. This is more about the the energy that you need to direct to yourself inwards. I'm hearing the reasonable voice that's wanting to come through and just allowing you, telling you, okay, it's time to be really in the masculine, creating structure systems, doing. Okay, let's just be reasonable, back up for a bit. Let's just look now and see how we could just slow down that pace. How can we shift more into that divine feminine energy? So the Democrat feels like it's like the inner coach that comes up and go, okay, hey, whoa, wait a minute. We need to stop, meditate, and contemplate and figure out our next steps, because there are things that need to change a little bit here. It's not big changes, it's small changes. That's what Pebbles is telling me. Okay. And that is all. Oh, actually, there was one more set of cards here. And these cards speak about the signs from the spirit world. So we have wolf, turtle, and witch. Interesting. When you see a wolf in any form, so it could be a wolf on the cover of a book, maybe on someone's t-shirt. I saw that once. However, wolf appears to you, it means cunning and stealth. And when you see a wolf, you may need to switch into that Democrat mode, right? Of going, ooh, okay, we need to be a little bit more strategic here. Let's pause, reassess, and figure out what really is the best next steps going forward. And the stealth part, right? How can you now use the divine masculine without getting too much into that energy? How can you get into that stealth mode and complete things, but still allow that divine feminine energy of creativity and perhaps sometimes spontaneously mixing things up in your life? Have that energy of allowance to happen, and that's going to allow that rigid energy of divine masculine to loosen or release itself, so then the masculine feminine comes more into balance. The turtle, slowness and protection. I feel like I channeled the message there. Slowness and protection. So the slowness, that divine feminine energy of just taking things easy, just allowing things to flow, just like how turtles float, right? They just trust the waves and the current. But you still have that protection, right? And that's the masculine one. And the energy of schedules, perhaps, that would allow you to be playful and be in that divine feminine energy of play and creativity. But know that there's a certain time in your day where you need to go back to a safe, protective, divine masculine structure. So, for example, in the morning, you might just want to play and have fun, but in the afternoon, really channel the rest of your energy into completing a project or channeling something out. So, if you see a turtle, it means balance, right? Make sure you have that balance. If you see a witch, it means there's some magic coming. So it goes back to the alchemist energy there, because when the divine feminine and masculine are balanced, manifestations can happen easily. Magic could easily happen too. So be open to that and be aware of how those energies are just swimming within you. The other word on the witch card is curse, and that just refers to that past life they spoke about, where your past lives are saying it feels like a burden or their guilt and shame of not really standing up for themselves and putting themselves out there. They highly regret that. And in a way, they resent themselves for not being brave enough. And in a way, that energy is like a curse to them. So again, go into that meditative state and ask Spirit, how can I release this from my past lives so I could be fully free and release blocks along my creative path or my life path? And that is all that Pebbles wants to speak about, I believe. Let me just double check with her. She says, yes, that's all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I just felt her higher self lick my face. Thank you, Pebbles. And I wish you all a wonderful day. Bye bye.